Hey guys, J-Man here for another comic book review. Death Dealer #2. If you saw my last video, Death Dealer #1, you know that I friggin' loved Death Dealer #1. Did I love Death Dealer #2? Duh. It was awesome. Okay. I review all comic books, movies, TV shows using my SPACE system. Story, pacing, artistry, characters, enjoyment. Each category gets a score between 0 for bad, 2 for amazing. When you add up all 5 categories, you get a score out of 10, and that's my ranking. The SPACE system was designed to rank comics against themselves and their peers. So we do not rate Death Dealer versus, Alan Moore's Watchmen, or Giant Size X-Men #1, or Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns, or Daredevil, or whatever. This Death Dealer comic is being ranked against itself, plus other Frazetta adapted things, and kind of fantasy comics in general. If a category gets a perfect score of a 2, that is not saying that that category is better than something else. So if I gave this comic book a 2 out of 2 for artistry, that doesn't mean that the art in this book is better or equal to the art by Neil Adams or John Byrne or Alex Ross or something, or Jack Kirby, right? The king of comics. No, that's not how it works. It just means for this book, it all came together. How well did Death Dealer #2 come together as a complete package for your, $4.99 US? Okay. So first one, I think I gave it a 9. Let's see how this one holds up. So basically Kerr, who I don't know anything about Death Dealer. A couple people in the comments in my last video have helped me out a little bit. And I didn't really research anything. I just want to just read these comics, okay? I don't want to analyze and read articles and encyclopedias and about this stuff. I like reading the comic and let me kind of get from it what I can. First issue was action-packed insanity. Second issue starts off with there's a girl and a baby that were kidnapped. So Kerr, Death Dealer, whatever, is trying to save them. And he's got this helmet that talks to him. So I didn't know any of this, okay? So this is just all new to me. I didn't know any of this, but it's pretty cool. So he has to say Death Dealer, kind of like Shazam or whatever, and then he'll get the powers or whatever. So, okay. So the helmet's talking to him, and he's going around trying to find the kidnapped woman and child. He needs the help of the sorceress. So for the storyline of this, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 2 for the storyline, which seems a bit crazy. But I look, it is basic. It's a basic storyline. If it was almost any other comic, I'd give it a 1.5 or maybe a 1. A 1 still means okay. If a comic book gets a 5 out of 10, 5 out of 10 is a pass. 5 or 6 out of 10 means this comic was okay. Most comics should get a 5 or a 6, right? Like, what the hell am I buying this for? Most comics you should say, that was not too bad. That was a good issue. If you get a 7 or 8 out of 10, that's like, wow, that was a really good issue. Well, this comic's really good. I gotta check this out. And then 9 or 10 is like, oh yeah, I gotta collect this thing. Like, there's no way, I gotta read #3, that kind of a thing. This is gonna be scoring high. Okay, so the storyline is basic, yes, but I just like the way it's being told. And I like getting right into an adventure. Issue 1, you got right into an adventure, and we're going to learn about Death Dealer as we go. I know nothing about Death Dealer. I only know that it's a Frazetta painting, and Frazetta's the damn best. I know that, okay? But I didn't know anything else about Death Dealer. He looks cool. That's it, right? There's toys and statues, and that's all I know about Death Dealer. I collected the Frazetta trading cards. I have calendars. I have some of his books. So I know Death Dealer, but I didn't really read up about who is Death Dealer. I didn't know his name was Kerr, or it was a guy is Kerr, or if it's the helmet. I don't know. I like getting into the action right away, get into it, and then I'll learn about the character as we go. And I really enjoy this. Okay, pacing, I'm giving it 2 out of 2 for pacing. This thing is crazy action-packed. There's him searching and building a torch. He fights a creature. He gets on this other creature and it uses a vehicle, which I'll show you in a minute. Then there's this other giant monster. Then he meets the sorceress finally. Then he fights this other creature thing. I mean, this is crazy. The pacing is crazy. This is like way better paced than every other comic of the big two. Okay. Yeah. Oh man. Sorry. I just flipped through this page. Sorry. I'll get to the artistry in a second. So pacing, 2 out of 2. Artistry, damn man. I mean, I gave the first one. I think I gave the first one a 1, which oh man, maybe I should have given it higher. It's so weird because if I gave the first one any higher, it'd almost be a 10 out of 10 comic. And I'm thinking in my head, maybe it was a 10 out of 10 comic. You don't get too many 10s, but I'm damn close to giving, I'm damn close to giving this, maybe I'll give it 1.5. I don't know. I'm really torn. I'm giving it a 2. Screw it. I'm giving it a 2. Okay. It is panel-y a bit in the beginning, but I like the way that this flows, so it's hard to show you on camera. Like, look at this. I like when there's confidence in the art to be able to tell a story. It is smaller panels, which kind of, I'm a 90s comics guy. I do like having those splash pages and like those, overlapping panels. But they're telling the story with just art, not very minimal dialogue. And I think that's very good, and I think it's tough to accomplish, and when it works, it works. Like, look at how awesome this is. The guy gets this monster and he's using it as a damn vehicle. It is panel-y, so maybe it's a 1.5. I'm going to go with 1.5. This is a nice page. This is nice, though. Double. Yeah, I'll give it a 1.5. I think I can't show you this. There's nudity, okay? Which, you know what? Look, it's Frazetta, okay? So that's it. Like, get over that. If you're nervous about the nudity, then, it's not, you shouldn't be reading Frank Frazetta stuff, okay? But there should be nudity. In fact, I'm going to go and say that. I said there should be nudity in these comics because this is what it is. But yeah, it is a bit panelly, so I'll give it a 1.5. Characters, I'm going to give the characters a 1.5 also. I'm not giving it the full 2 out of 2. 1 means it's good, so this character is good. I really like Death Dealer a lot. He's just awesome. I'm right into him. This is why I'm even giving it a 1.5. I probably should be giving it maybe a 1. The sorceress that he meets, I've forgotten her name, so that's not a good sign because I read this a couple days ago. But she is pretty neat, so I'm giving that extra 0.5 because she is pretty cool. There's not a lot more characters yet, so it's tough, right? Because we haven't gotten to any kind of really big villains yet or anything like that. But just based off the strength of Death Dealer himself, it's an automatic 1 out of 2. And based on the sorceress, who I do find slightly interesting, I'm giving it an extra 0.5 for that. So for the characters that we get in this issue, I think they're pretty good. For the enjoyment factor, I'm giving it a 2 out of 2. I'm giving it a perfect score. Enjoyment just means that I like this comic, yes or no. Would I recommend it, yes or no? Would I buy the next issue, yes or no? That kind of a thing. And yes, I already bought all the other issues. I'm definitely excited about this series. I'm definitely recommending it to anybody who likes fantasy. And if you don't like fantasy, give it a shot. Maybe you're a fantasy person. Maybe there's this fantasy guy or girl living inside you that has not been unlocked yet. Maybe this is the comic that's going to unlock that fan. So I like this style of fantasy. It's not Tolkien style fantasy. It's a bit more rough. So it's more like a sword and sorcery. There's always this debate. Is it fantasy? Is it sword and sorcery? I like Conan. I like Lynn Carter stuff, Thongor, that kind of thing I just got into recently. So I like this style, but I also love the Tolkien stuff, of course. So I love all fantasy. This is just kind of a subgenre, I guess, of fantasy. But it's definitely something that I'm pumped up for, man. This takes me right back to, like, I play D&D. I still play D&D every week or every 2 weeks. I like old school stuff. I don't like when there's all these weird creatures and stuff. I like creatures and monsters, but I like it to be, I don't want to say realistic, but like Conan, where it's a guy, and the sorcerers are not just like whipping around doing crazy magic. I love Doctor Strange, but that's superhero. So Doctor Strange to me is a superhero. Other magic users where it's like the magic takes something from them, and you don't just go around shooting spells or whatever. It's more like you're doing a spell and it takes something out of you. I like that style, and that's more sword and sorcery to me, at least. But what did you think of Death Dealer 2? What do you think of Death Dealer? What do you think of Frank Frazetta? What do you think of anything? Okay, let me know in the comments. Guys, I love this series, so I'm going to review the next one. I'm loving Dawn Attack as well. There's a new Frazetta stuff coming out in April. I'm all in. I'm all in with these. They're great. That's it. Until next time.